Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am your narrator, Airman First Class Peter Lord, and on behalf of the Commander, 5th Medical Group, Colonel Lisa Bader, welcome to Minot Air Force Base in the 5th Healthcare Operations Squadron Change of Command ceremony. We are pleased you are here with us today to share in this important ceremony as we bid farewell to Lt Col Juan Ramirez and welcome in a new leader, Lt Col Audra Myers. Our ceremony today is a celebration of both continuity and change. Continuity in the form of a military tradition whose roots reach back through time to the legions of ancient Rome to the passing of signets that once symbolized the transfer of command from one to another. Change, as the great command says, farewell to an honored leader and welcomes his successor through a ceremony that differs only in style, not substance, from those of the Romans. Once the members of the official party have taken their place, please remain standing for a presentation of our nation's color by the Minot Air Force Base Honor Guard, the playing of our national anthem, and the invocation by Chaplain Jeffrey Lichleiter. Today, we are honored to have many special guests in attendance. Special guests of Lt Col Juan Ramirez include his spouse, Betsy, and their children, Evan and Emma. Special guests of Lt Col Audra Myers include her spouse, J.D., their children, Colton and Kennedy. Distinguished guests in attendance include Command Chief, 5th Bomb Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Aaron McElroy. We would also like to welcome all other commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, friends, and members of Team Minot who are joining us virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party.
Honor Guard, present the colors.
Colors. Attention. Hunt. Forward. Hunt. Forward. Hunt. Colors. Halt. Present. Arms.
Chaplain Lichlighter, please come forward to offer the invocation.
Please join me if you will. Heavenly Father, giver of life and Lord of all, with deep gratitude, we celebrate you and praise you for all the many gifts you give. We acknowledge your presence and are mindful that anything that we do for one another, we must do in love. As we witness this change of command, I especially lift up these two commanders, one outgoing and one incoming. With unified voice, we are thankful for the awesome leadership of our friend and colleague, Lt Col Juan Ramirez, for his wife, Betsy, and for their children, Evan and Emma. May your blessings continue to shower upon them as this chapter closes and a new one begins. Grant them, Lord, the courage to overcome what lays ahead and be their protector as you mercifully lead them and sustain them by your grace. Lord, we ask for your hand be upon Lt Col Audra Myers as she assumes command. Also bless her husband, J.D., and their children, Colton and Kennedy, as they will be a source of support and encouragement during this season. Grant her and the Squadron success in every good endeavor so that their many missions be accomplished and every member of this team will find satisfaction in the important work they are doing on behalf of this nation and community. May we also continue to build camaraderie that will be a source of comfort, security, joy, and blessing, not only for itself, but also for all it touches and serves here at Minot Air Force Base. Let us be reminded of your glory as we care for airmen more than anyone thinks possible. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Honor Guard and Chaplain Lichlighter. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
So we're pretty much finished moving around now. As long as you can maintain 6 feet of separation, you can take these off.
And now it is my pleasure to introduce the commander, 5th Medical Group, Colonel Lisa Bader.
So about the only time that I ever have to have a script is when I have such important things to say about two folks. And so welcome to the Healthcare Operations Squadron Change of Command. Chief, thank you for being here. I know it's a crazy time on base with the exercise, with COVID, so I appreciate you taking your time to be here to represent the boss and the wing. So also Chief Thomas, Lieutenant Colonel Cianco, Major Pippin, everybody who helped plan today, most importantly, family members. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for attending. To the Ramirez family, Betsy, Emma, and Ellen, welcome. I know this is probably a little bit of a bittersweet day, but thank you for your commitment to your husband and father and to this squadron and group. Thanks also to Betsy, who was not only the key spouse mentor, but at times our only key spouse. To the Myers family, JD, Colton, and Kennedy, welcome. I'm so glad you are now part of the 5th Medical Group and the Warbird family. Most importantly, a welcome to all in the Med Group who may be watching, and most importantly of all, the 5th Healthcare Operations Squadron. This is a momentous occasion, but like all changes of command this year, it's going to be a little odd and unconventional due to COVID. So 2 years ago, pre-COVID, way pre-COVID, Lieutenant Colonel Ramirez took command of the 5th Medical Support Squadron, MDIS, and also became the group deputy. The squadron was only 75 people at that time, maybe worth remembering that number. During the first year that you were here, there were no senior NCOs in the squadron. So imagine, Lieutenant Colonel Ramirez assumed command of a new squadron with a tech sergeant superintendent who knocked it out of the park, but still really rose to the occasion. It's pretty amazing all by itself, but of course, he and the team did great things. The Med Group had identified a lot of vulnerabilities in our systems shop, and Lt Col Ramirez kept the team focused, and with dedication and tenacity, we helped crush the no-notice command cyber readiness inspection. We mitigated 323 medical-specific vulnerabilities. Comm Squadron was really happy we did that. At the end of the first year, Colonel Ramirez did start to get some senior NCOs, including Sergeant Perkins over there, who, if I peek, I can see her. But also, he got a new commander himself. And it was the same time that the AFMS decided to reorganize all medical groups. So you were the continuity on the command team, really. And you helped make certain the reorg happened, not just happened, but among the first in the command to happen. More importantly, you forged a new team from MDIS to HCOS. MDIS stood down with 75 people, and immediately HCOS stood up with 118. If I do the math right, that's an extra 43 people, and also added clinical operations. He didn't miss a beat. He forged the team. They designed a new patch to aid in identity and cohesion, re-empaneled patients, and realigned missions. On top of all of this, there were exercises spent on the base, including time spent in the crisis action team, usually overnight for you. Thanks for that. Sorry, Betsy. You also had to go to extra meetings as a group deputy. There was a UEI, there was a QPP, and I don't have any idea how many DV visits happened during your time here. Oh, and then there's the little thing we call COVID that happened in the last few months that just like, capstone event for you, I guess. So, Lt Col Ramirez, thank you for being a dedicated and superb leader who developed such a great team. You let us borrow Betsy as key spouse and key spouse mentor. Betsy, again, thank you very much. I have no idea how I would have been able to communicate with our family members without you helping to do that. Emma and Evan, thanks for the two of you being willing to offer up your dad some. Thank you too for being a part of Team Minot as well. As I said in the beginning, these transitions can be bittersweet. So as Lt Col Ramirez turns over the reins to Lt Col Myers, let me give you a brief introduction for her. Lt Col Myers comes to us from Scott Air Force Base with her husband, JD, and children Colton and Kennedy. I welcome all of you to our Warbird and Minot family. Both Audra and JD are from Colorado. Lt Col Myers, I don't know if she knows this, she was the only HCOS Squadron Command candidate we had who did not list Minot as number 5 and last. She did not list us last. So we all know that Minot doesn't deserve the reputation it has. It's a pretty awesome place, actually, but it does say something about you, Lt Col Myers. The squadron was the largest opportunity for any of the Dental Corps candidates. It was also the most diverse of any of the squadrons for the Dental Corps. The Dental Corps ranked it as the most challenging of the 5 options. So I like to believe that that's part of the reason why you went for it. I'm glad you did. You see, this isn't the first time that Lt Col Myers has chosen the challenge. She's not only a dentist, she's also a periodontist. She's been a residency instructor not once, but twice, both at the Air Force Academy and at Scott Air Force Base. She was the group FGO of the year twice, once at Ramstein and again at Scott. As a dentist, she maybe didn't have to do much more than her residency staff job, basically an instructor, and also be flight commander, but she first was an instructor for and then the program director for the Advanced Cardiac Life Support. Then she stepped out of the MTF entirely, and she helped teach the flight commander and flight chief course for the installation at Scott Air Force Base. That included active duty and guard. So thank you for being willing to take on challenges. She steps out of her comfort zone to tackle new challenges. You didn't just go for squadron command, you went for the biggest, most challenging. We are pretty special here. We know we are. Only place with 2 legs in the nuclear triad, largest squadron available to your corps. There will always be opportunities to do that which you love of mentoring and teaching here. But the squadron will continue to rise to the challenges. They will continue to function as a team, and they'll continue to have each other's backs. Lieutenant Colonel Ramirez, you helped make a squadron that has each other's backs and who works as a team. I know they will do the same for you, Lieutenant Colonel Myers. I know HCOS will welcome JD, Colton, and Kennedy. HCOS, you're saying goodbye to an amazing leader, officer, and human being in Lieutenant Colonel Ramirez. This is with some sadness, but you're also gaining another person dedicated to mentoring and teaching. I know you will all continue to do amazing things. So Lieutenant Colonel Ramirez, Betsy, Evan, and Emma, may our paths cross again, but until then, safe travels. Lieutenant Colonel Myers, JD, Colton, and Kennedy, welcome. And HCOS, I know you will continue to be in good hands.
Thank you, Colonel Bader. At this time, Lieutenant Colonel Ramirez will receive the Meritorious Service Medal. Due to current social distancing procedures, his medal is on display on the table. Please stand for the reading of the medal.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. Lieutenant Colonel Juan M. Ramirez distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 5th Healthcare Operations Squadron, 5th Medical Group, 5th Bomb Wing, Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota. During this period, Colonel Ramirez led both the 5th Medical Support Squadron and the 5th Healthcare Operations Squadrons, 122 active duty and civilian personnel in support of the Department of Defense's largest personnel reliability assurance program and the only installation housing 2/3 of the nuclear triad. He oversaw a $10 million operations budget, $2.4 million in contracts, and $758,000 in patient travel costs. Additionally, Colonel Ramirez oversaw the completion of the group's cutting-edge $38 million facility renovation, the execution of 155,000 prescriptions, 103,000 laboratory tests, 9,000 x-rays, 4,000 physical therapy consultations, and 98,000 primary care visits worth $4.1 million. Furthermore, as the group deputy commander, he was entrusted with the medical group's historic squadron reorganization, oversaw the Air Force Surgeon General's Minot visit, and the development of the installation's coronavirus disease mitigation plan and medical contingency playbook. Finally, his astute leadership was instrumental in achieving unprecedented success during the 2018 Command Cyber Readiness and Command Best 2019 Nuclear Surety Inspections. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Ramirez reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Juan Ramirez.
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, Chaplain Lichlighter, thank you for that invocation. That was awesome, as always, and I appreciate the support you've given our family as a member of the congregation on base, and really appreciate your friendship as well. So, Chief Mack, I appreciate you coming out here and representing the wing. And, as far as those who could not be in attendance, those Minot teammates, families joining us via Zoom, and of course the men and women of the 5th Healthcare Operations Squadron. Thank you for tuning in, I guess, attending today and being part of this ceremony. When asking my colleagues and mentors what I should say today, several, if not all, reminded me that today isn't about me. It would be a bad form to go longer than 3 to 5 minutes. Taking that feedback, I set my mind to write something that embodied the 3 B's of public speaking, right? We all know those. Be brief, be bold, and most importantly, be gone. you know. So I know that's you're ready to take the reins, and I know you are. So I'll be brief. As far as people who deserve thanks, there are many. But prior to thanking individuals, I must thank God for this tremendous blessing. There have been many times during this journey where I had to remind myself I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That saying in particular went a long way during stressful times and long days at the office. Anything that I've done well or been successful in is because of him. On a personal level, I do have to thank Colonel Cochran, Colonel Ocean, and of course Colonel Bader for entrusting me with the most precious asset the Air Force has to offer, its airmen. Again, thank you to my superintendents, both Sergeant Thomas, who you talked about, my gung-ho tech sergeant, and of course Sergeant Perkins, our first sergeant, Sergeant Atkins and Ellis. I can't express how much I appreciated the care and dedication and support that you have for me and our airmen. You all truly love our troops, and it truly shows. To Major Menegay, thank you for being an outstanding deputy and putting this ceremony together. You and your team, I know these things are difficult to plan and execute. The hard work does not go unnoticed. To the amazing men and women of the 5th Healthcare Operations Squadron, I want to take this time to tell you how honored I've been to be your commander. You're an amazing group of servant warriors who keep this clinic running, heal our ailing families, and ensure our warbird airmen are ready to fight tonight. You amaze me every day with your job knowledge, your ability to overcome difficulties and be successful, whether it be a CCRI, a TJC inspection, an NSI. You guys always knocked it out of the park. My one desire as a commander was to be the commander that the group deserved, and hope I have succeeded in that endeavor. To my beautiful wife, Betsy, and my wonderful children, Evan and Emma, I couldn't have done any of this without your understanding and long nights, about the long nights and weekends. Thank you for your love and your support. Whew, that's the hard part. Get that over with. And finally, I would like to welcome Colonel Myers to the HCOS family. I haven't known Audra very long, but given her strong record and her eagerness to absorb all there is to know about the squadron, I'm confident that I'm handing over the unit to the right person at the right time. I wish you nothing but the best, and I know you'll do great things. Once again, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. It means a lot to me and my family. God bless you, and have a great Air Force Day.
The men and women of the 5th Healthcare Operations Squadron would like to present a gift to Ms. Betsy Ramirez as a special token of our appreciation for her work as key spouse mentor. However, due to current COVID-19 conditions, we have placed her gift on the table for viewing. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the official change of command.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force, Headquarters, 5th Medical Group, Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota, Special Order G-20-019, dated 15 June 2020. By order of the Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Juan M. Ramirez will relinquish command to Lieutenant Colonel Audra D. Myers, 5th Healthcare Operations Squadron, Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota, effective 15 June 2020. Signed, Colonel Lisa M. Bader. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, 5th Healthcare Operations Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Audra Myers.
All right, so I know it's already been mentioned. However, I want to thank Chief McElroy for attending today, representing the wing, and Colonel Cochran and Colonel Bader. Thank you for your trust and tremendous vote and confidence in giving me this opportunity to lead. A huge thank you to Major Menegay and her team for putting together such a great ceremony for Colonel Ramirez and his family, as well as my family. Thank you, Honor Guard and Chaplain and PA for enabling this event to be virtual. And thank you to all my family, friends, and colleagues that took the extra time today to tune in. Colonel Ramirez, I know the squadron is in great shape because of your outstanding leadership here. I'm very excited to pick up where you've left off, so thank you. I know there isn't a lot of time for me to go through and list all the individuals who've made this part in making this moment special for me, so I'll take a little bit of time and do my best. But I need to thank all of you who've been praying for me and continue to pray for me. Thank you for that. I'm very grateful. Thank you to those few people who've sat down with me and have given me honest feedback. Those hard discussions have been key moments in my professional development that have increased my commitment to invest in others. My final thank you is to my family. JD, you've been my best friend and partner for over 20 years. You've always been by my side to encourage me and sometimes even mentor me, so thank you for that. Colton and Kennedy, you two are some of the most resilient kids I know. I haven't been there for you for every school event or game, and so I'm sorry. With your support and love, I wouldn't have made it this far. Thank you both for always being there, and JD for always being understanding. From what it sounds like, it may get worse. So I apologize up front, and it's on tape. So I have a small token of my appreciation for all of you under your chair, and JD, hopefully you can get out on the course a little bit more here before the weather gets bad. So you better hurry. To Team Minot, I just want to say I'm here to serve you. Let's be united, keep each other accountable, honest, and strive for excellence. Thank you all. It's an honor to serve, and our family is proud to be GSC. Thank you.
The men and women of the 5th Healthcare Operations Squadron would like to present gifts to Lt Col Myers' family. However, due to current COVID-19 conditions, we have placed the flowers and squadron coin on the table for viewing. JD, Colton, and Kennedy, please accept these gifts on behalf of the 5th Healthcare Operations Squadron, and welcome to the family. In keeping with Air Force tradition, we will conclude today's ceremony with the playing of the Air Force song. While it is customary for Air Force members to stand, we invite all of our guests to join us in standing for the Air Force song and the departure of the official party and special guests. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Thank you for attending and join us in welcoming Lt. Col Myers and her family to Team Minot.